Hi, good morning. This is a reflection on lesson 196 in A Course in Miracles. It's the title. Don't even get me started. It can be, but myself I crucify. We'll just set all that nonsense aside. So, what it's saying is like, this is an insane belief that you can attack another person and yourself be free. So it's saying that to attack someone else is to attack the self. So I think of that as like, comparison and judgment. So even judgment against someone is an attack. But it's really, what are we judging? I think of how if I have a judgment looking out at someone or a situation, it's usually something, if I turn it back around inside, it's usually some reflection of something that doesn't feel right within me, and it usually has some history with me. So it could be just, yeah, some dissonance within myself, wherever it originates from. And it's like, oh, that should be different, like the shoulds. And so I think of that as even a form of attack, even though attack is kind of an aggressive word. But really, that's to me what this comes down to is like anything focused externally as if it should be different than it is like separation from that thing. And it's a judgment that who am I to think anything should be different? Why does the world have to accommodate me and all of my quirks? What is that? Why does anything have to accommodate me, think of me, consider me, and all of my mess in how it should run? Like, how many billions of perspectives are there on the earth? Over 8 billion, I guess. And the world has to make sure everyone's okay with how it operates. Like, that's the insane thought, I think, that it talks about, one of them. And that by doing harm, meaning attack, judgment, all of that, by doing harm, how could we ever feel good about that? It's just, I think, a fundamental rule of humanity that says to do harm does not feel good in the body. To do good feels good in the body. So it's like this internal compass we humans have. Now, there are extremes where that apparently isn't true. And they call those, like, there are all kinds of other mental disorders, perhaps. I don't know. But fundamentally, like, for the most part, I believe there's a do good, feel good kind of thing going on. And to do bad, you feel bad. Like, what? So this judgment thing is, it's saying it's an insane thought to think like you could attack and feel good yourself. Like, to be set free, they say, and I think of that as peace. Like, how could you hold some should, like judgment about how something should be, and you're feeling like it's not that way, and so you feel separate from it? And how could that result in feeling a sense of peace inside, freedom, spaciousness? Those two things are at odds, I think. So that's what this lesson means to me. I'm wondering if there's anything else. I think about that a lot as I try to let go of more and more. Well, first of all, just recognize when judgment is happening. Judgment might not even be like being judgmental about a person. It's like anything that feels like I'm looking out of these eyeballs out into the world saying, that shouldn't be that way. Trying to recognize that sooner. The other thing that I've been doing is, oh my God, I just lost it. Menopause brain. It had something to do with that. This idea that you can, oh my God, I wish I could pause this and restart. Hold on. Okay, I'm back. I remember what I was thinking. I didn't want you to have to wait that long. So the other thing I've been doing is recognizing when I have these automatic responses or impulses to have a preference or to state a preference. So like, or even like when you're talking with somebody and you're like, oh, that's great, or oh, I'm sorry, that's not so great. Like there's a point where you're empathizing, but there's also a point where we're injecting like judgments, like to say, oh, where does it fall on the good bad spectrum of like what you're telling me, where does that fall, like, and how do I feel about it? It's like we're constantly categorizing things like, oh, that's great, that's not great. And then the other thing is about having preferences at all. Like, why? First of all, I can have a preference. That's what we do. We are full of preferences. I prefer this, not that, this, not that, because it feels good to me, or it tastes good to me, or it sounds good to me, whatever that is, because we're all different. We all have different preferences. But the need to like have a preference and then the impulse to like state the preference, it feels more and more ridiculous to me. Like, what's it even matter? They're all so intangible, these preferences, these judgment calls. It's almost like a shortcut. It's a shortcut to experiencing something anew, right? It's a shortcut around curiosity. It's like a bypass around curiosity. It's like, why not just have curiosity and go right into the thing without any preconceived ideas of whatever preferences I may have had about it, good, bad, like, dislike, like, why, what is that? And the more I inquire into it, the more I recognize when it's happening, and the more I can just stop it when it starts to happen. Just like, like even just my own internal dialogue about what's happening as I'm going through life. What good, bad, like, dislike. It's like, stop. It doesn't mean anything. It's reifying the ego, the personality. And it's like, oh, well, this personality really likes sushi. Yeah, she does. But what's that? What does it even matter to like collect all these preferences and form them into a personality, a human, an identity, when it's like I can let go? And it's not just about like preferences about food and things. Those are fun to experience in life. But it's like that categorization on the good, bad, like, dislike spectrum. It keeps us separate. I feel like it keeps me separate from experiencing something with fresh eyes. And that's to experience something with fresh eyes through curiosity is really coming into a present state, a moment of now. Like, oh, now I'm really looking at this brand new. And sometimes I'll even try to forget the word for a thing. Like, I'm looking at a picture frame and it's like, I try to see it without a word coming to mind. Like holding, like, I don't know if everyone thinks this way, but do you? Where I think like English words are floating through my head as I look at things. And it's like, they're shortcuts. That's what words are. They're shortcuts to some communication about something that's, needs to be communicated. I thought about that the other day. Like, who was the first person? There were grunts and like, and then, I don't know, did a group of people say this grunt means this thing? And then they're like pointing at things. And it's like, who was the first person to point, and everybody else looked not at the finger, but at the thing they were pointing at? Like, what was that moment like, I wonder? That's crazy to me. Because it's like the first time somebody points, you have to think everybody's going to go, where's that finger going? So to me, I think about like, what if I could just forget some words, forget all the shortcuts that keep me kind of numb to the present moment, to even recognizing that there is such a thing that I can come into called presence and just stillness and newness. Everything's new again. And it's like, well, get rid of words, first of all. They're just shortcuts. And so I think about that sometimes when I'm meditating in, like, coming into the present, like just now, is trying to, like, silence the words. And it gets pretty trippy real fast. Like, wow, that picture frame is actually this beautiful piece of wood that's accentuating something in the middle, and it's doing like a service. This piece of beautiful, ornate, pretty symmetrical wood is drawing my attention into the center, and it's like helping me. It's like a tractor beam zooming in, and so I can have such a new fascination with, like, whoa, describing the thing instead of using the shortcut word. Picture frame, boring, been there, done that, nothing new to discover. And then it's like, oh my God, this like bronzy but auburn wood that takes on different sheen and different lights. Like, it's like, it has so much dimension to it, so many, it's just beautiful. I could focus in on it for a long time. And then it's like, wait a minute, what's in the middle? Oh my God, that's the whole purpose of this thing, is to like, hone your attention right into the center. And it's like an attention focusing device. And it's like, whoa, who invented the picture frame to do that? We could have just been hanging sheets of paper on walls without, and then where would we look? Where would our attention go? And somebody's like, I know, I'm gonna put a square around it. So anyway, that's all. Just some musings along with like what this lesson makes me think of. Bye.